Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I got another interview for you guys. I got Jennifer from DC, and she wants to talk about remote neural monitoring and targeting in general. How are things going up there in DC?
Things are going good, Kevin. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
No problem. So, um, about how long have you been dealing with your circumstances?
So I've been extremely targeted for the past since last April. Extremely targeted, but I have actually been targeted for the past 15 years.
Okay. So, what are the details of your targeting?
Um, do you want to know the extreme targeting or just the targeting?
Well, just a general, like, do you have artificial telepathy? Are you experiencing broadcast attacks? Are there people chasing you around, or what's going on?
All of that, all of that. So
Okay,
I have artificial telepathy, which I thought initially was, I thought I had some kind of implant or something. I couldn't, understand why things were happening. Like people could read my mind. Like I would decide to go to a restaurant and then there would be people there. Um, but yes, I have artificial telepathy. I have EMF broadcasting. Um, I have the gang stalking. I even have some other things which I don't think people will find believable, which I leave it alone.
uh, okay. Well, you'd be surprised what I would believe because I've seen a lot of crazy things with all of this. So you do experience the artificial telepathy, or what a lot of people call V2K or voice to skull. So do they talk to you like 24/7?
They do. Like the minute I wake up, I have these, conversations going on, and I'm very hesitant to admit this kind of thing because it makes you sound like you might have some kind of a schizophrenia or something.
Right.
But I can tell, anyone who's watching this for a fact that, it's when you have it. And when you do, it's not a mental illness. You didn't have a crack, you just actually have artificial telepathy.
Right. Well, a lot of people that don't experience the telepathy side of things, they don't understand a lot about the technology and how it works. And as soon as they're talking to you, I mean, it's not like some voice in your head. I mean, you hear these people plain as day talking to you, and um, over time, you figure out that they know what you're thinking and that they can see what you see. It gives us a different insight. I have the same situation, and when you're full blown targeted in that way, it definitely gives you a different insight and another perspective that a lot of people that are targeted don't get.
Right. And I have a brain injury. So, like it would be easy for my friends to say, well, she must have changed because, ever since she had that brain injury. But that's not the case at all. I've
Right.
been targeted for 15 years, and it's just that I've become extremely targeted. And part of that is this, what you're saying is the artificial telepathy.
Right. Well, from my experience talking to people, and I talk to people all the time, every day, all around the world, and from my experience, it seems like a lot of times gang stalkers will try to choose an event to initiate the heavy gang stalking and the artificial telepathy and stuff like that. Like a lot of people are like, as soon as I went to the hospital, then that's when all this started, and they're very opportunistic. So if something like that happens, then yeah, they're going to jump on the opportunity to go ahead and start talking to you. Therefore, you'll think that some doctor implanted you or something like that. But the fact is, the artificial telepathy, remote neural monitoring, and all of the above, they're all one system and it's all broadcast, and there is no chips. I don't have a chip in me.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, people will argue with me all day about that, but if a chip's not required, then I just don't see the point of all the hassle to get somebody a chip when the neural monitoring can already do everything.
Right, right. And I thought for sure I had something in me because I had when I had my brain injury when I fell down a staircase 2.5 years ago, wasn't drinking or anything like that, and that was actually an attack, and that was part of my targeting. So it's what happened was my hearing became very sensitive. I'm still very sensitive to vision and I mean to light and sound. So that's why I roll around with my sunglasses on in my earmuffs at times. And they did all that, which you remember you were talking about. Another of our fellow TIs talk about induced tinnitus and hyperacusis, problems with hearing, ringing in the ears, and all of that. So I had to go to the doctor, and they put this like thing in my ear and said, "We're gonna put this in your ear, and would you mind if we did that?" And I said, "Sure, go ahead." Well, at that moment, they put like a big puff of strong air in there. And then ever since then, I started having the problems with the artificial telepathy. So I was sure that that's what was going on. I was sure that that's when it started. But you're right. They use that as an event to start that up.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people will have the same scenario where they'll because they need you to believe in something. They need you to believe that somebody else did this. And neural monitoring with just broadcasting, they can know what you're thinking and hear what you hear. They know all of your senses and what you see and feel, and it's it's a very bizarre thing to start to experience, but they need us to think that it's somebody else, and they know what we think, so it's very easily done for them to play into whatever we think to try to make things seem very different than they really are, and it's just a pretty common gang stalker tactic.
I wonder if I haven't been on this kind of artificial telepathy for years since I was young, and because I can remember things with one of my parents where I always felt like I could read his mind or something. Like I just was always on the same wavelength with him. And so sometimes I just wonder if you're just opening up your awareness more to what's going on around you. Maybe some of this has been going on forever. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I was definitely on remote neural monitoring for some time frame, years at least a year or two, because I didn't really start to experience, like maybe once or twice in 2014 I experienced the artificial telepathy, but those were very brief instances and not full time until late 2015, early 2016. But I know for sure that I've been on remote neural monitoring at least since 2013, and I suspect a lot longer. So they don't have to turn on the telepathy, and that's something when you become full-blown targeted. And most people that are on neural monitoring, they don't have that. They don't have gang stalkers talking to them, and there is still ways to try to hear them and possibly even record them, even if you can't hear them. But definitely most people don't experience the telepathy, and you could have been on for a long time. Now, I don't think that people, normal people, like now, gang stalkers, these are normal people that, me or you could get neural monitoring and become gang stalkers or not or whatever. We can gain access to this, and a lot of people that have access to this are not anybody special. But prior to, I would say, the mid-90s, it would have been very difficult for someone, a normal person, to have access to this technology because it's all online. So, if you can remember dial-up internet, like, you remember that was like, what, the mid-90s or something. And then it wasn't until maybe 2008 or 9 or something where we began to have mobile internet, like serious internet for real on our phones and stuff. So, those are some of the limitations to when the masses were starting to be able to access this technology.
I think like that. Yeah, I never gave that any thought. When you start your broadcast and you're like, it always makes me laugh. And I think that you should try one where you end it with that like modem noise at the end, that AOL dial-up noise.
Yeah, I'm always trying to think of new things to do. So I'm gonna let I'm gonna start letting everybody else do the yeah man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Now that always makes me laugh. It always brings my day, like things that really crappy for us as targeted individuals, and what I also like to call it, extrajudicially targeted citizens, and it's kind of like when you can find someone like you who's like yeah man or yeah man with your cigarette in the morning, and then like it just makes me laugh, makes me smile, and then your fight, because you're just kind of like, thanks for the evidence, Joel. And I love that because it helps me shape my attitude. Like, oh, crap happens. Let me record that. Okay, I have evidence now.
Exactly. You know what? They can't win. They can't win, and all they want to do is make us miserable. And they've done dug themselves right into a hole, and now they're trapped here. They're trapped right here, and they have to stay on our neural monitoring. And then people like us, we're out here talking about it and telling everybody what's going on. So now everybody's going to be looking for neural monitoring online, and they can't watch everybody. They can't watch everybody, and now they're trapped in this situation. They got to watch me for the rest of my life. Yep. So, personally, I don't see myself ever being that obsessed with anybody. I wouldn't want to be stuck in that situation. I wouldn't want to have to watch me or worry about me for the rest of my life. Definitely.
No. I mean, I enjoy when you log in. I think I watch your videos every time you post them, or I try to. But, I mean, what I don't understand is why they knew me like driving down the road in my convertible. I took a picture of the moonroof. It was just by accident. I had the camera up there and I saw a reflection. I remember what you said. If you take a photo in front of a reflection or a shiny surface, it's easier to detect those EMF broadcast, faces and the avatars. And sure enough, I did that, and I counted like over 40 people, and that was modestly in the frame. And I was like, that was just my first try, Kevin.
Well, that's good. But one thing you have to know is that, say if you take a picture and then you start to do editing to expose people in the picture, those are people that are connected to you. Now, the way that the broadcast works is you might see a person in your picture, but you might see that same person from a different angle in the same picture, because it's all the broadcast, and the broadcast like they can see you from any angle, and it's just however they want to set it up. The broadcast is a full spectrum, so you may see the same person in one picture multiple times. So, but it probably is of quite a few people that are connected. And to be honest with you, the thing that they're so addicted to more than anything else is our minds. They love the way you must think in a way that they can't think, because if they won't go away, that means they're spending all of their time connected to you, and for some reason they love the way that you think.
Well, I find that very hard to believe because I'm incredibly boring. And I live like a senior citizen. However, because of my brain injury, I've been in recovery for 2.5 years. It's just starting to get a little better. But, when you try to tell people this, it's kind of like when you learn about Jesus and try to tell people, like, I used to get mad at people who used to pray for Jesus to help them find a parking spot. And I was like, that's so ridiculous. And then I had to learn that Jesus cares for every hair on your head, and so it's okay to pray for a parking spot. And especially with TIs, all the more so because their lives are so inconvenient all the time. So when I started to try to explain to people early on about being targeted and that I was on surveillance is what I said, people were like, well, why? Like, you like nothing personal, but you. And that was kind of, you have to go over that hump. In other words, it's like this suspension of disbelief where you're like, Yeah, I don't know why, because I'm like literally rolling down the road with my groceries in my car, my Chick-fil-A, and there's, all these people, and I've captured the evidence of it. I posted it on my Instagram account on Just Riley. And it's like, holy crap, that you really don't need to suspend the disbelief if you have the proof, if you have the photos of their faces.
Right.
How stupid of them.
Well, I tell people all the time, and they're like, well, why? Why me? My life is so boring. And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter what you do. You could lock yourself in a dark room, and that could be it. It's the way that your mind works. And these people, one example that I use is imagine being just some moron and being able to connect to a rocket scientist. And when that rocket scientist starts to think about the advanced things about the rocket and all of these genius thought processes, then it's going through your mind. So even though you're just some moron, your mind is able to compute what's going through it from this genius person. So it's very mind blowing for them. And they, if you're a smart person, the gang stalkers are going to like to connect to you because they love the way your mind works, and it makes them feel high or like an elevated state of consciousness. So it's like a drug. You're their drug of choice.
Well, I like that, but sometimes I wonder if they are actually like us, and they're getting their little they're getting kind of like their fix because they can't find anyone else like them, so they have to. I think it's both scenarios. What you're saying is mostly the low-level gang stalkers who are logged on. I don't know how they get the money to get on our EMF broadcasts.
It's free.
But oh my lord. But then the other point is I think there are some people who like feel starved and they need to be around people who think like us. I wonder if there are some people like that too who need to be with us because there are not a lot of people like us. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that we are addictive to them enough to the point that they will spend 24/7 having our thought process in their mind, and that's what they love. That's what they call mind control, and that's what they love enough to waste their whole life doing it, 24/7 all day, every day.
I know someone named Kevin Christian, and he says there are just like nothing but junkies. These people are Jays.
They are Jays. I swear they are. They are Jays. Look, I've known a few of these people, and I know the type, and I've dealt with a bunch of them. I've had the full blown thing going on about 4 or 5 years now, and I used to want to get access so I could try all this. I want to try mind control. I want to try to connect to people. I want to see how it is to broadcast. Nah, not anymore. To me, that's like saying I want to try crack so I can have shredded up clothes and stink walking in the street stealing from my grandma. Like, nah, I don't want no part of any of that. I think they're really just addicts. I think they're junkies, and I don't see it any differently. And I wouldn't put that mind control headset on my head now.
I would put it on. I like your attitude, but I would put it on my head and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to make this woman like read her Bible. I mean, I don't think make is not, that's not the right word, but it's quietly influence her to pray. I'm going to quietly influence her to meditate or go for a run. I mean, I wish someone was like, you want to go for a run, don't you? Like, I wish someone, but they just want to make me like eat, so what the heck? They want to make me drive fast. They literally, I don't know if people watching this understand, but like they can take control of your faculties to the point where you're like opening the blinds suddenly and the right thing is driving by or whatever the message is they want to communicate to you, and you're like, how in that moment in 3 second time span did you make? Because you did something to my limbic system, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that they can make us do things. I think they could be very suggesting and influential, but I don't believe that some people say that they can cause them to move, and I think with the broadcast turned up extremely high and certain circumstances, maybe they can do that. I mean, I've had them try to make me move before. One time they made me bite down on something one time, but that was 3-4 years ago before I was really using the meter all the time. And I think they probably had it turned up to 2 or 3 thousand or something ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. It probably takes some meditation and some thought for them to be very advanced like that. But until we gain access to this technology, we won't really know the complete details. We know a lot. We know a lot about how it works and what they're doing just by experiencing dealing with them every day. But and I used to say the same thing, kind of like what you're talking about. If I ever got it, I would be like a guardian angel, and influence people to do better with life. But either way, it's wrong. It's dead wrong to connect to somebody's mind unconsensually. And as far as a gang stalker person that already has neural monitoring, they can't be gang stalked because you have to have their neural monitoring and they already have it. So you can't gang stalk a gang stalker. There's no ex-gang stalking operatives and all of that type of stuff. It just doesn't exist. It's not a possibility. If you're an ex-gang stalking operative, then come on with that neural monitoring site because we're suffering.
And I want to say, I don't care. Okay, look. Hashtag brain rape. That's what I call it. Like, I know rape is a very offensive term, okay? But I'm sorry, okay? But what's going on with that is crazy. The way they just invade your thoughts. I don't consent to that.
No, I don't either.
I don't.
I usually call it mind rape, but same difference.
Yeah.
Brain rape, mind rape,
Yeah.
same difference. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're raping your mind for every thought that you have, every process that your mind is making. They can get that, and we don't want them to have that, and it's unconsensual. So, it's dead wrong.
It is, and I know men and women who are raped who would say one day if you're raped, you would change that word. You would be more sensitive to it, and I respect that. I can't find a better way though to say it. Like,
it is what it is.
Understand?
No, that's exactly what it is. It's mind rape. They're taking your thoughts without consent and they're raping your mind. And it is, who knows, they could be raping your body with broadcast. I know they do that. A broadcast can rape a human, and it's more like an assault on the human, but for them it's like it's a like a sexual thing. So they can do all kinds of horrible things with neural monitoring and EMF broadcasts, and it's slowly coming to light, though. It's slowly coming to light. More people like us are talking about this.
Yeah, and you were teaching us that how, like, EMF broadcast is all around your head and everywhere, and I'm like, you guys can see everything. Like, I don't consent to that. Like, I don't care if you watch me when I'm making a tuna salad sandwich, but I kind of mind that I'm in the potty and your asses are looking at my ass.
Yeah, exactly. They people will like shower in the dark or try not to look in the mirror and stuff like that. They can see what we see, but they don't have to see what we see. They can just see us from a broadcast. They can see us. So, there's really no way to stop it, unless you have your neural monitoring. So that's the ultimate goal, is for us to gain access to neural monitoring.
Yes, sir. Aye, aye, Captain.
So I'm kind of running low on time. I'm glad that you're joining this fight with me. So you have a YouTube channel?
I do. Thank you for the props. It's Intelligentsia, the J. So it's INTELI and then JENSIA. So Intelligentsia on YouTube. And it's a very new channel. I'm very new at this. And I would love anyone who wants to come on and subscribe to me. That would mean a lot. So.
Yeah, so your videos are about this type of stuff, targeting and stuff?
Two kinds of videos. I have a daily gratitude journal,
okay.
Which are only a minute long. And I'm just starting with the targeting videos because it takes a lot of courage. I don't like being discredited, and I don't like coming out with this stuff. I don't. I mean, I really don't, because it's a program that's designed for no one to believe you. So when you come out with it, you don't sound right.
I understand completely.
The only reason I started is because you said that if you focus on the areas of proof, what you can prove, then you come across as more credible. And also because other TIs have said, about fighting for all of the TIs, all targeted individuals. We need to fight for one another and become unified. And it's okay, in my opinion, if we all believe different things about whether it's an EMF broadcast or a dealer tech. I know you spend a lot of time educating, but my point is I don't mind educating at all, okay? But I really think that even we can all disagree on what's happening to us and who's doing it and what threat fusion center, whatever. But at the end of the day, we're being tortured 24/7.
Right.
And so we need to unify around that.
Exactly. It's better if we can all agree on exactly how this is happening, but ultimately, the masses need to know about it, and awareness is key. And any kind of ways that we can gain evidence and consistency where we constantly can prove things, So all of that's good. And I'm glad you started your channel. If you want, I could feature your channel on my page, and
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
That's very kind of you.
Cool. So I hope you'll come on again.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, cool. So everybody, Jennifer from DC, check out our channel.
Thank you for your time, Kevin. And thanks for fighting for us. You're teaching all of us a lot of stuff. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Okay, I put you on my Alexa device, your voice. So let me try it now.
Okay.
Now talk to me.
Okay. How's that?
Oh, it's not here. I'm not in there.
Yeah, you're pretty much in there. It's just cutting off the top of your head.
All right, let's see.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Yep.
You can?
Hold on. That's not working. I'm going to try and put it in the plant. No. Yeah, I have if you could mention it, say like a YouTube channel is called, I'm Intelligentsia, so it's like.
Well, I'm gonna let you do it.
Oh, okay. Yes, definitely. I'll smoke a cigarette with you.
I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't know what you're talking about. I smoke.
I see it. I see your ass.
Nah.
Pair my device.
Ready to pair. Go to the Bluetooth settings on your mobile device.
I wanted to put my little angel up. Can you hold on a minute? I want to put my little angel right here.
Okay.
I moved the camera. Okay. Oh my God, her leg fell off. Her leg fell off. I can't believe I'm talking to Kevin.
Oh man.